Good day. My name is Chris Rolle, and I'm here to express my 5 cents on the major issue in the Bahamas. If you were to turn to your local newspapers or to your radio stations, you may hear your radio personalities, or you might read articles and editorials on the illegal gambling in the Bahamas. You might have heard that recently there was a raid on one of the popular gambling places, or web shop as they call them. Based upon evidence, it seems to me that the majority of Bahamians are actually for gambling. Major group of Bahamians may not gamble, but they do know someone or someone in their family that do. Maybe a co-worker or two that do play the numbers, the popular form of gambling here in the Bahamas. And it's very interesting that if you are a Bahamian and you have the right to associate and to gather with whomever you wish, as long as you maintain the order and be civil, and at the same time you are not permitted in your own country to do something that any other guest or visitor to your country can freely do in a civil manner. You may be able to work in a casino. You may be able to entertain and perform in a casino. You may even be able to own and operate a casino. But if you are a Bahamian in the Bahamas, it is against the law for you to play or to gamble in that casino. And this is a fundamental wrong from my standpoint. I view that if you are a Bahamian, then you should have an opportunity to not only own places of gambling or casinos and hotels as such that cater or have gaming license for gambling. You should be able to gamble as you so choose. In all sincerity, it is your hard-earned dollar you work for, so you should be the one at the end of the day to determine what you do with it. And the government should not stick their noses into your personal business, telling you how you should spend your money. And it is a social ill if you gamble, but is it a social ill when we welcome our tourists into our country just so they can gamble? I mean, let's open our eyes here. Just take the shades off our eyes. We build those hotels, especially with casinos, to draw our visitors to our shores. And we take that revenue that we gain from those casinos and those gambling to further build our infrastructure and to further our economy. Now, it's only, but if you count every Bahamian, about 300,000. If you count the visitors, about 5 million. 5 million visitors a year compared to 300,000 Bahamians. Now, what possibly harm or dent can 300,000 people do that 5 million people cannot do? Are the government, or is the government saying that 300,000 people are so disorderly and dysfunctional that they can't maintain civil order, that they can't be obedient and civil, that they will hurt, kill, maim, injure, corrupt, destroy an institution of gambling if they participate? That's silly. Our government needs to grow up and come into the new world order, into the 21st century. We do not need our governments to stick their noses in our business, telling us that we cannot do something in our own country that visitors could come into and do and participate. This is nonsense. Now, either our government leaders start to wake up and smell the coffee, or sooner or later they will be out. However, there is signs of hope for gambling and for Bahamians having the right, or should I say the privilege, to gamble in their country. There is a minister now advocating a reform of the law. He is advocating that we should have a referendum where Bahamians come together and the majority shall vote whether or not gambling should be permitted for Bahamians. And this is a silly thing. It's really a no-brainer. Gambling should be permitted in the Bahamas. Bahamians should have an opportunity to gamble. Of course, we earn our money. Shouldn't we have the knowledge to spend our money the way we see fit? Shouldn't it be our right and our privilege to do so if we so choose to? And herein lies the problem. Government need to step down from that father figure role and just do what they supposed to be doing. They were mandated to do. Keep the infrastructures sound. Keep our streets clean. Keep the crime wave down. Make it possible for education to be an incentive for our children. But lately education is not an incentive for our children. It's been a dismal disappointment. With a D average coming out from year to year to year, I don't see no improvement in that. Maybe the government should focus their attention on our educational system. And the health care in the Bahamas is not that too great either. Maybe they should focus their attention there on health care, that each and every Bahamian should have some means to a good, healthy environment where they could get the proper needed health care as they so choose, and education as they so choose. But the government maintains that they are our fathers and they must look out for us, telling us what to do with our own money, telling us that we don't have the sensibility to take care of our income, that we will go spend 90% of our income on gambling. That's rubbish. Bahamians still gamble anyway. The majority of people are not doing it, despite the fact that there are lots and lots of web shops, quote unquote, around facilitating the numbers or the gambling. And even though it's illegal, it still goes on from day to day, where everyone seemingly does it or knows someone who do. And despite the Christian Council agenda to stop this evil that is taking place in our Bahamas, the crime wave is still at a level that is ridiculous. And there's no Christian Council member talking about that. But yet they would still take in the proceeds from gambling. Of course they know their parishioners who comes in every Sunday morning and give that tenth of their earnings. And that tenth of their earnings most of the time is coming from the numbers that they won, the monies that they gain from gambling. But they turn a blind eye to that because it's all in the name of the Lord. And that's the hypocrisy of us all. So I am not advocating that, yes, we should have gambling for gambling's sake. I'm just saying that the Bahamians should have the right in their own country to gamble if they so choose. And if you want to, you should. And if you're not, as the majority of us won't, then hey, there's always other extracurricular activities for us. So until next time, this is Chris Rolle, and you have been in the Rolle Report.